Welcome to the Connection Lab podcast. I'm your host, Alex Thomas, and I'm here to help you on your journey to confidence, authentic connection, and a deeply fulfilling life.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask questions that I'm just genuinely curious about, even though they're like kind of maybe like it could be even like sensitive topics.
Yeah.
Again, you let me know what is like,
Yeah.
what we can talk about or what you're comfortable with.
Are you in, what's it called? Ven?
Pomegranate in
Okay.
Pomegranate Cafe in Ubin. It's next to Baluna Co-working. I don't know if you've been to
Oh, yeah,
Baluna,
I've heard
but
of it.
really
It's a
nice
bit
co-working space.
far off.
It's like, yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, like 15-minute drive from the city,
Yeah.
but it's like in the middle of rice fields and it's like
Cool.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first question I was really curious about, and really what kind of inspired me to want to talk to you. I see you post a lot of like pictures where, like some of them are kind of like half nude pictures. And I was really curious because you talked about confidence, how that this is you being vulnerable, you showing like this is a symbol of confidence. And that really sparked my interest of, I want to get your thinking of that. Because sometimes for me, I'll be completely honest, like I definitely do have thoughts, when I see either a guy, posting shirtless pics or a girl, I kind of immediately, like, at least in my mind, I have the thought of, oh, they're probably just like wanting attention or something. They just want to like show off their body. But then you mentioned confidence. So I was really curious to hear from you, like, what's your like kind of thought process when you post pictures or videos like that?
Yeah, I definitely used to have much stricter filter on because especially with the Asian, like growing up with an Asian background, you're taught to be conservative.
Absolutely.
But it's through like the travels and through meeting different people that, well, like to be honest, I used to be a real introvert, which is how I got started with travel blogging because I could just blog behind the scenes. I didn't have to show my face or anything like that. And so it's through the years of blogging, over 9 years now, that I can see myself gearing more towards, because of all that solo travel and all that situations that you have to, force yourself out of the comfort zone and deal with. I can see myself transitioning into someone who's more like confident and outspoken and a bit more extroverted, which is why I feel like the more I know that posting all of these pictures will tend to get comments such as what you were thinking. And so it is through doing that and pushing myself out of the comfort zone that I'm able to deal with all the like naysayers and the bad comments, and realizing that like the online criticism doesn't matter as much as what I value in myself, or as long as I stand true to what I put out, I don't have to really bother about what the rest of the online world is saying. And in a way, it takes a bit of courage to do that. So for me, I also wanted to inspire other people as well to not be afraid of posting what they want to post, or like feeling like they want to show off but not doing it because they're afraid of showing off. So yeah, just a bit of that in that line as well, that line of thought.
Totally. I mean, yeah, definitely makes sense. Even for me, sometimes, I've gotten in really amazing shape, and sometimes it'll be like I would want to like kind of show off, but I definitely have like so much hesitancy to like want to show off because I don't want to look like a show off.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if people know me for being humble, like if they know me in person, they actually know that I'm humble. And like this online persona is definitely not it's an online persona. It's not a representation of who you actually are. So yeah, for me, it doesn't really matter to me as much what other people think. Although I can get why they would think that way. Like, yeah, of all this like nice bikini shots are just a ploy to gain more attention.
And I'm curious, for people, maybe they're listening and they want to start posting on Instagram, just posting anything, not even going to that extent of, being as vulnerable as that. What was like, I'm sure the first time you posted, you had some resistance in your mind. I would imagine maybe you're like, oh, I don't know if I should do this. How did you kind of get over that? And how did you get the courage to just start, expressing yourself the way you want?
I think in the same way as anything that's scary, whether it's launching your own business or trying something new, there's always that fear of unknown and all that imposter syndrome coming up. And it's a matter of surrounding yourself with people who support you and just not judge you and support you, reminding you of like what your bigger purpose is. Yeah, as compared to flooding your mind with all these negative comments. So yeah, for me, when I first started posting more provocative images, there was definitely a fear of like, oh, what would my parents think about it?
Yeah, especially with Asian parents. I mean,
so it was like, for me, one is like distancing myself, like being in my own space allowed me to express myself as an individual rather than what other people would think of me. So yeah, one was the physical distance, and two was surrounding myself with people who like supported me and celebrated me for me instead of what it superficially looks like.
And you said you have Asian parents. I don't know exactly how Singapore culture is, but I know, my
Yeah.
parents are Indian. I'm in
Yeah.
Indonesia now, and like I know how conservative these Asian cultures can be. So I imagine that must have been really challenging. Was there any kind of encounters you had with your parents that?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, yeah, I feel like yes, for sure. It's always been like a taboo topic because we don't really talk about it as much. But I don't block them on Instagram, so they are aware of everything I put out there, and they also know that I'm a very like, do you call it a black sheep or the ugly duckling? But like, I'm very strong in the sense that I want to discover who I am and I want to grow individually as my own person, which is a bit different from the traditional Asian mentality, and that's important for me as like for my own personal growth as it is for like all sorts of growth. They've come to accept me for who I am, because like if anybody stands in my way, I kind of just push them aside, and they don't want, I mean, I don't want that to happen, and they don't want that to happen too. So we kind of find a middle ground where I come home occasionally, be the good kid. And then other times I would just be traveling or just nomading in other places and doing my own thing.
Do you feel that it's hard for your parents to understand you?
I think I'm very different, and that is why they might struggle with a bit of on understanding me. So as much as possible, like I don't block them out of my life. I try to introduce different aspects of my life to them with regards to either like sharing, like being open on social media. If I comfortable with posting them, I'm not afraid of hiding it from anyone or from them.
Yeah,
and
great.
then also I try to take them, okay, this might be a bit strange, but I try and take them to places where I feel at home at. Like earlier when I was in Bali, I would take them over to kind of experience what the nomad life is like in Bali. And I did the same with staying in Bulgaria for a month. So I was based in Bulgaria, Bansko, Bulgaria for a month. And I was like, oh, why don't you come over? We spend a few days and then we do the Euro trip. So it's like a balance. It's like a mix between introducing my friends and my nomad life to them and then continuing on with the trip. So it's not like they get a major shock from what my ideal actual travel nomad life is like.
You kind of ease them into it.
Yeah, and also introducing my different international friends and just exchanging conversations helps them be a part of my life, because that's an important part of my life that I don't want to lose. Yeah, I can't be too completely different person at home and when I'm not at home. So that's a good integration for them into that life.
And were they strict like while you were growing up?
I wouldn't say so. Like I still had the freedom to choose what to study, a relative freedom to choose who I want to date. So for the most part, they don't impose their expectations on myself or my sister, as long as we did our best in school, as long as we're sensible. I wouldn't say they're like tiger moms or anything like that. So we still had the freedom, especially for me, to pursue what I wanted, because if they were stricter, I probably wouldn't be leading this life that I lead now. I would be maybe in an accountant job or something.
For Asian standards, they weren't like
not
too
super
strict.
Yeah.
And why do you think, because I still imagine it's still like, there is expectation, there's stigma. What do you think about you or your upbringing or any maybe decisions you made have led you to not follow the traditional path that most people in Singapore would follow?
What led me? I think from young, I was always interested in self-development. Was
there something that sparked that? Like, was there maybe a struggle you were going through that, like for me, my personal development was a spark from having so much social anxiety and having so much pain around that got me into it.
Yeah, I definitely struggled. Maybe when I was in my early teens in school, I was always like, why am I the unpopular kid? So I remember when I was 14, 15 years old, I picked up this book by Dale Carnegie, right? Like how to win friends, how to win friends and influence people. And that kind of changed my life, like my whole set of thinking. Like instead of trying to please people to have them like me and be the popular, likable kid, student, friend, I decided not to care about anyone anymore and just focus on myself. Yeah, that really sparked a whole like trajectory into my life of self-development and becoming a better person. Slowly, different situations led me to having the courage to pursue something different.
Yeah, that book was
Yeah.
actually really big for me too. Like, it was like one of the
Yeah.
first personal development books I read. And yeah,
Yeah, wow.
helped me a lot.
Yeah, still is popular.
And when did you start traveling?
So, yeah, so at this point, this was another important pivot in my life. I did a student exchange when I was 21, and I thought that, okay, this is going to be my last big break, a semester of full of traveling, 6 months long. So I better make the best full use of it. And all along, I wasn't a very expressive person. So I would always turn to journaling because, yeah, I felt like I didn't have anybody that I could really trust my secrets to. So my journal was my confidant. Probably what led me to start my travel blog and documenting my travels. And so when I was 21, I started that. I went on that 6 month long exchange, did things that I've never done before, clearly. And then through that, I met a bunch of different people from different backgrounds with different stories. And that really inspired me because all along, but at that point, all along, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to finish my school, start my work, settle down at some point, and the rest of life kind of goes on predictably because I was a student. So I went backpacking, I was couch surfing. So meeting people like from different walks of life, like musicians, artists, creative people, alternative people that I would otherwise not normally meet well in my day-to-day life. That really showed me how much more possibilities there are in the world and all these different decisions that you can make that is not solely just that one way path that everyone else is doing. Yeah, since then, I started building this life that I've always wanted, while of course balancing reality as well. So, yeah, making sure that that was a sustainable income generating path before throwing myself full time into it.
Yeah, and how long has it been since you started traveling?
It's been since 2015, so I would say it's the ninth year now.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
And how do you think travel has changed for you? How has it,
Oh,
impacted your growth? Because I imagine the first few years are going to be much different than the ninth year.
yeah. How has it impacted my growth? I was like an over planner. I would also just stick to myself for the most part, like shy to strangers and stuff like that. Very safe. Yeah, just making sure that nothing crops up, like wanting to be in control all the time. So I can see
Mm,
now that I am like the total opposite of that. I would happily book a one-way trip to somewhere, base myself there for a while and see what happens and then deciding what would happen in the next week rather than having my plan set, 1, 2 months in advance. So that was the
yeah.
biggest difference since traveling more. And also, as
Yeah.
I mentioned, from being more introvert to becoming more extroverted now that I have like met like-minded people and found people that I actually connect with and who get me. I feel a lot more comfortable with sharing with others and also sharing in front of the screen. Like I started my YouTube channel maybe 2, 3 years ago because I wanted to, be more comfortable being on screen, which previously I hadn't been.
So you knew you would be uncomfortable, but you just kind of
Yeah.
figured the more you do it, the better, easier it
Yeah.
become.
I mean, it's always the discomfort and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone that leads you to discover more of yourself and realize how much more capabilities you had than if you were just in
Totally.
your bubble, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. And was there something that sparked that change that allowed you to decide I'm going to push my comfort zone?
I think it was just little by little. Because with travel, you can't really as much as you try and control everything, there are still unforeseen circumstances. And it's usually these crazy, spontaneous decisions that make the most impact in your life and that teaches you the biggest lessons. And so I've come to embrace that and to let go of control and to trust in
Yeah.
the universe and
Yeah.
believe that everything that comes for a reason and there's always something to be learned from, even if it might be a bad experience.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I think letting go, surrendering, just giving up control,
Yeah.
trusting. And once you start doing that, you can just, when other people are judging you, you just kind of let go of, you can more easily let go of that because you're not in
Mm-hmm.
control of what other people are thinking, how they're going to perceive you. And yeah, I've
Mm-hmm.
never thought about how travel, yeah, it makes perfect sense why travel will do that because while you're traveling, going to new places, like there's going to be things, so many things outside your control and so many unforeseen things pop up. And eventually you'll probably get to a place where it's like, you expect it. You're okay with unforeseen things happening and you stop kind of having that tight grip. And you probably
Yeah,
realize that
totally.
things do work out, through
Yeah,
experience.
exactly. Yeah, you emerge stronger, you emerge like more confident in yourself, you emerge, yeah, like more fearless and facing the rest of the wraths that the world that the world might throw onto you.
Yeah, totally. And do you think, yeah, I definitely believe like so much in the, being a nomad of 3 years, I believe so much in the benefits of travel. Do you think that there's, it's travel, like this type of travel is only for certain people, or is it really just kind of like everyone can do it, but there's just some fear blocking some people? Yeah, like what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's like, it's only meant like only special type of people are made for this?
As in just travel in general or nomading?
Especially like as a nomad, like where you're just really kind of
Mm.
flowing with, a little
I
more laid back and flowing around.
I definitely don't think it's for everyone. There are some people who prefer the predictability, the stability, the need to have a home. Whereas as a nomad, you need to be okay with the discomfort and you have to be okay with it happening often because you're constantly having to try and figure out new environments, new routines, new homes. So that's not something that I think everyone would be okay with, but it's
Yeah.
definitely more for the ones who are a bit more, yeah, like who embrace change and are do not fear change and are more adaptable than those who are not.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. People who want to control, but I can also see that as, something that's blocking them. I think they want to control because they have all these
Yeah.
like these fears and, uncertainty. And that's why they need to control everything and not kind of surrender to life. So I wonder if it's like, it's just a type of person. I really believe it's more of just a kind of a fear that anyone can get over.
Mm.
But, usually you'd see people that, not everyone, of course, but a lot of people that maybe they really value comfort and they don't like
Yeah.
change. They're going to stay in one place. But those are typically the people who don't change in any areas of their lives. They're kind of, they settled for areas of their life that they don't like, but they don't really make a change because they prefer that comfort. Because changing, or changing who you are is it takes courage, because parts of you need to face parts of you that aren't working, and like parts of you need to actually die. You need to actually let
Mhm.
go of that, which does take
Mhm.
courage.
Yeah, that is true. But also, I mean, I've met so many different kinds of people and heard different perceptions that it's not just about the courage to change, but also like constantly moving takes up a lot of energy. And
Sure.
sometimes, like,
Yeah,
if you're like trying to focus on business or trying to grow your career, then you
totally.
want to like block out that part that, can just have a routine and settle so that you can focus on other aspects of your life, like maybe building a family. So yeah, I guess it also depends on different stages and what people really want out of their lives.
True. Yeah, especially if they do have some other goal and this traveling doesn't fit into that. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. What would you say to the people who are, a lot of people always they have the dream of being a nomad and wanting to travel? What advice would you give them to get there? Or what do you think is stopping them?
Definitely the fear of the unknown, because for someone who hasn't done it before, you're just used to your own comfort and your own routines, right? So I would say to really it helps to do a bit of research. It helps to talk to people who have been there, done that. It helps to kind of like if you know your finances, because finance is a big part of what's hindering them from doing this nomadic life. So like figuring out your input and your output. This is something that I've like done with my consultation calls, and that's usually like a common theme that pops up. And I would always advise them to think about your inputs and your outputs, like what is your budget for a monthly expense, and then that would determine how much your rent is, or like, and from there you're able to decide where to go first that would be comfortable within your budget. Because honestly, a lot of people think that traveling is so expensive, but
Yeah.
you can get cheap rents like $300 in Mexico. Even Bali is less than $1,000 a month. So it really is just about like exposing yourself to all this information and then feeling comfortable by talking to peers, people who have done it, to relieve that fear of the unknown and gain more confidence.
Yeah.
To do it.
Yeah, I think fear of unknown is like, I think you nailed it. Like, this used to be me, 3 years ago before I became a nomad. Like I had this idea that it'd be so cool to be a nomad and I wanted it. But then one of my, someone who I'm friends with now told me, okay, so how much money do you need and how much is it going to cost you? And it was
Mm.
only when I sat down and like did the budgeting and got clarity, when I took away that unknown of how much it would cost, and I was like, holy shit, this is like super doable. Like I could make, I could replace my income and get this amount of income, within just 2 months. And I could start traveling, in countries like Mexico, in
Yeah.
Asia. So it really is,
Yeah.
getting that information, like taking that first step and getting clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
For
that makes a
sure.
lot of sense. Yeah. Any other advice you'd give someone who, now that you've been a nomad for 9 years, what the journey, any advice you just give someone who's thinking about, going
Um,
into this path?
I would say to start, like maybe start with places that you're comfortable with or places that don't scare you. Like for instance, before I went to the
Mm,
US, and this is like a huge stereotype, but pardon me, before I went to the US, I would like send out a newsletter, hey, I'm going to the US. Like clearly most things don't faze me. And then I would get a lot of replies saying that, hey, be careful of the US, it's dangerous.
careful.
People
Really?
like carry guns there and things like that, which is like I know very naive, but
Yeah,
that's the same can be said about people who've never been to Asia. They're like, oh my God, Asia is so
totally.
like a third world country. You never safe there, people are poor and they rob you, things like that. But and the same
Yeah.
can be said of South America too, which I
And
spent
Colombia.
2 years,
Yeah.
yeah, with drugs and all
Where we
that, with
met.
all
Yeah.
the media and propaganda. Yeah, but actually spending time on the ground, you realize that the world we're more similar than you think we are, and there is more goodness
Totally.
in the world than, the media portrays. So
Totally.
it's really about being open and positive about the whole experience that would really enrich this venture, this adventure.
Totally. Yeah, it is so eye-opening, going to these countries. Like when I went to Medellin, Colombia, when I
Which
went
is where
back,
we met.
yeah, which is where we met. Like everyone was asking me, like, was there just like coke dealers on the street everywhere? Was there like gangs everywhere? Like all these crazy things. And like they assume there's like, it's all like dirt roads and stuff. Like
Mm,
they just think like it's just like just chaos there. But once you get there, it's
yeah.
like a completely modern city,
Yeah, I don't know
with
about you, but I
everything.
had one of the best experiences there, like with the street art, and the nightlife and the cool people. We were part of the cool people because we were all hanging out in the expat neighborhoods and also meeting the locals who were like extremely nice, whom I still keep in
Yeah.
touch with, like my Airbnb host. So it's been the best experience in Medellin for me, at least.
Yeah, beautiful city, beautiful people. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
there is like, there's times things can be dangerous, but that's, obviously like every big city, when you have millions of people in it, obviously there's going to be like some
Hmm.
people who are up to no good and areas that aren't as safe. But the same thing with like, New York City, if you go to certain parts, like there's going to be dangerous parts. That's like
Yeah.
literally every single part of the world is, you will find
Yeah.
places like that. Any final like advice you'd give to someone, who is looking to build confidence or wanting to be more vulnerable and share more parts of themselves and kind of just stop caring about what other people think, like any type of beliefs that you consistently had maybe throughout in your mind, or kind of like mantras you repeat to yourself that have served you really well?
I would say to really just surround yourself with people who are able to, who know how to appreciate your beauty and just keep putting positive messages out there. I think karma goes around. So as long as you keep yourself in a positive space and surround yourself with beautiful people, they're bound to be people like you're going to attract the same energies and it's all going to lift you up eventually. And also speaking to people who inspires you and help to boost that confidence.
Yeah, totally. I think that's like the biggest hack of like, if you want anything in life, is just surround yourself with people that are
Yeah.
similar to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And one question about that then, since you've been nomading for 9 years, how has it been for you connecting with people? Like, have you had any things? 'Cause obviously while traveling, you see someone maybe for a few months and then you leave. How does it go for you to maintain relationships or build deep connections?
For me, that's definitely a struggle. And that is something that I realized with a longer time spent in one place, it would help to increase that possibility of building deeper connections with people. And it's also about not being afraid to put yourself out there and kind of just
Yeah,
network and socialize and attend events that like where you think there are like-minded people as you
right.
and not being afraid to share, because for me also, like coming from an Asian background, I am always like the giver, the pleaser. Like I know I'm a people pleaser, So I've had to learn how to be okay, like to be confident enough to share about my own stories as much as I hear other people's stories, because it's always a two-way street. And like in the past, I would always feel like nobody's interested in my stories. Why? I don't want to show off, that kind of thing. So I would always keep to myself and just be like always receiving. But I realized it's always a two-way street. And it's only when you share your own versions, your own stories, your own vulnerabilities that helps to deepen connections with people. And
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah, I think a core part of building a deep connection is being seen, which
Mm.
means showing parts of yourself and then seeing the other person, which involves, curiosity.
Yeah.
But yeah, has to be a
Definitely takes
two-way.
time. Definitely takes time. It's a matter of like exposing yourself to more of that and then slowly being comfortable with sharing a little bit and then a little bit more every time.
And I think, trying to think intentionally of places where you might meet those like-minded people is,
Mhm.
is amazing. You're much more
Yeah.
likely to make those deep connections. That takes,
Yeah,
knowing yourself too. You need to like know what are your values, what do you really care about, and then where
for
are you
sure.
gonna find those people?
Yeah, and definitely, because the people you meet while you're traveling slash backpacking isn't going to be the same as the people you meet if you're nomading with other nomads. Because
Totally.
from my personal experience at least, I feel like nomads are more friendly, more warm, more open, because we're all individuals kind of navigating the world on our own. And so there is already the unspoken bond and the unspoken like belief in the nomad culture that brings us together, versus, backpackers. We kind of have like a lot of backpackers have the mindset that you're just passing through. There's no point in developing any strong friendship or whatsoever. So yeah, it's a matter of finding where your people are.
Totally. Yeah, I think nomads like inherently are just, open-minded, and they're open to
Yeah.
different types of people, different experiences. And
Yeah.
they're, especially being a solo travel nomad, it's kind of like being in freshman year of college, like all the time. We're always like down to meet new people, especially
Yeah.
when we move to a new place. So we're
100%.
always friendly. One thing that's helped me that I started doing not too long ago is, basically every Sunday I kind of do like a reflection of the people I've met recently. And then I intentionally just decide like who do I want to continue connecting with, and then just sending a message,
Oh, that's
asking
nice.
people for like lunch and coffee and stuff. Because I remember like in certain places I would go to all these events and meet so many people, like huge quantity of people, but like
Uh-huh.
the depth of those relationships were like,
Mm.
we're limited. Now by doing this, I
Yeah.
can actually like, really intentionally connect at a much deeper level with the people I really want to.
Yeah, definitely
That's
takes
helped me.
initiative on your part as much as, choosing the
Totally.
space that you want to be in as
Yeah,
well. Yeah,
exactly.
makes
I think
sense.
that's, for making friends in general as an adult. It takes much more
Mm.
initiative than like if you're studying in university and college, you're
Yeah.
surrounded by people, you don't have to really do anything. You just have to be where you are. But as an adult, you have to be more intentional, and you have to be willing to be more vulnerable. Maybe people
Mm.
don't reply to you, or they reply like, much later, or they don't want to hang out as much as you do. So you have to kind of put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, this was perfect.
Yeah, such a good talk. Thanks for having me
Yeah.
on here.
Yeah, this is fun. Yeah, I'm really happy how we're able to tie, kind of a lot of the stuff you're doing with travel, with posting, building your content with the topic of confidence.
Yeah, I
Don't
think,
mind
yeah,
it.
because I had a line of thought about how like as Asians we are thought to be more discreet with our body, with our physical appearances, which leads us to be very humble, very shy, very like not confident about ourselves. And like
Yeah.
if it's not our good side, I don't want to be in the picture. Or if
Yeah.
it's not like a glorified moment, I don't want to share it. And
Yeah.
so it is only through kind of doing more photo shoots with other people who are as open-minded and like people who like really celebrate the body as a form of art, or a form of expression, that I'd slowly built up that confidence to be okay with sharing it and be okay with, other people thinking that I'm superficial, because I know that I had already built that confidence through already like slowly built up that confidence to know that, hey, actually it's just a body, and a body can be celebrated in whatever forms it is. And just because society thinks that it's shameful doesn't mean that you don't have to share it, because everybody has the same body. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. I actually
Yeah.
just did a podcast this morning with a tantra coach, And we talked about like exactly this, that in a lot of most cultures, but especially Asian cultures, that there is so much suppression of of sexuality and the sexual
Mhm.
energy, which is like such a one just a powerful energy, and it's something everyone experiences. We all have these bodies, we all have pleasure too, we all have these same experiences.
Yeah.
But for a lot of cultures, for whatever reason, they're not even sure why, but a lot for whatever reason, it's just like suppressed and it's like taboo to show
Mhm.
off or to even think about. And that's interesting to think
Yeah.
like how I wonder even how it became like that, because tantra came from India, and
Mhm.
now India is one of those countries that is sexuality is very much suppressed. So I wonder like how that even shift even happened.
Yeah, wow. Interesting. Yeah, for sure. Like that's why I like to put myself in uncomfortable situations too. I also did my
Okay.
first like tantra experience in Bali, which is why
Mhm.
I kind of like Bali for all of it, for all that it offers. If you're open to it, you can experience all these different experiences and learn about
Totally.
yourself as
Yeah.
much as about
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's why I love. I mean, I haven't been to Chengdu yet, but Ubud has been like amazing for that. I've met
Very
so many different
spiritual.
types of coaches, healers, people doing just really cool stuff. And
Yeah. Tap into
yeah,
your inner self more.
totally. Yeah. And I think by doing this, really, especially when you include in the post a bit about the vulnerability and courage, then it could really, people can really deeply think about it and be like, yeah, it is just a body, and it can inspire people to really show them full
Mhm.
selves.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, this is fun. I'm glad we did
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, me too.
Are you where are you gonna go after you heal
I
up from
don't
your surgery?
I don't want to think. Well, yeah, I am hoping to go back to Bali, but at the moment I'm trying to control
Oh, Bali,
myself by
nice.
not thinking about it because the more I think about it, the longer it seems for me
Mm-hmm.
to be able to get out again. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely miss the Bali life. Um, I want to be more intentional with my travels too, not just like travel burnout is a real thing. And
Mm.
I get why people want to have a base. I'm quite tired of being homeless. So I want to be more intentional with my travel in the sense that like looking for places where I can, maybe stay for a longer term, get property or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
Because
me, Ubud has been like the first place where I can actually see myself building a base here. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, Bali has that effect on people. Yeah, and like the constant moving around is also quite tiring, especially if you're alone and you have to figure all of that logistics yourself
Mm-hmm.
and then remake friends again and
Totally.
figure
Yeah.
out where the grocery stores are again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
get,
good
I
mix.
definitely get that. But at the same time, it's like it makes sense. But then after like 5 or 6 months in a place, then I'm like kind of I feel
Yeah,
this, I don't know, like boredom or like what
true.
something I want to change.
Yeah, I guess that's why I think that we're all on a mission to like find a place that we can call home where we really
Hmm.
like feel part of. And so until then, we will just keep nomading.
Cool. Well, maybe I'll see you in Bali in a few
Yeah,
months. Then
definitely hit
I'll
me
be
up.
here until end of October, and then I am planning right now to come back after the raining season in Bali. So maybe in like March or something.
Oh,
Uh,
I was there during the rainy season too. It can be quite pretty, even though everybody says not to
mm,
go, but
yeah.
it
I
can
mean,
still
what
be quite nice.
I bet. Yeah, I remember I was in Goa in India during rain season, and there's like
Mm,
nobody there, but it was so beautiful. This is like all
mm,
green. Everything is like lush. There's just like waterfalls like everywhere now, like on the streets.
yeah.
It's just like there's
And
so
it's
much life.
also during the low season that that you find where the people who live long term are. Because otherwise,
Mm,
like in the high season,
makes
people
sense.
come and go all the time. So if you want to look for more
True.
permanent friends, that's when they'll be
Yeah.
there.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, I didn't think about that part.
Yeah,
Yeah, good point.
I actually did make a lot of people who like a lot of foreigners, expats that lived in Bali during the time that I was there in December, January, where it was much
Mm,
quieter, yeah,
right.
there was
It's
actually
like, yeah,
space to
totally. It's like
yeah.
80% of people are like
Mhm.
just short-term vacationers or
Yeah.
backpackers. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also highly suggest like going to a co-working space or something because
Yep.
there's a difference between people who go to the beach clubs and people who go to co-working spaces.
For sure.
So yeah, like people were always telling me like, oh, I don't like to make friends in Bali because people just come and go. They're not staying there for a long time. But then I had a different experience because I was going to gyms and going to co-working places, and those are the
Right.
places that people hang out when they're living there as
Totally.
compared
Yeah,
to beach clubs.
there are way more like communities. It's just just thinking. I mean, co-working is definitely one, and just got
Yeah.
to find them. Like they're definitely there.
Mhm. Yep.
There's even like expats with like there's expat schools here with like schools for
Ooh.
just expat kids. So,
Yeah.
like, there's a
You're
huge
in
expat
those
community.
you're in those no meal groups, right? I
Yep,
believe you
no
are.
meal.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
cool.
in like a ton of WhatsApp
I know.
groups.
I had to archive all of them. There's so
Yeah,
many
so
in
many.
Bali. Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely hit
Okay.
me up when you are in Singapore if you have the time. I can't
Yeah,
offer you my place, but
I don't want to cheat on this challenge,
yeah, I
but I
know.
want to find a stranger.
Yeah, no, if you ever
But
like have
maybe,
time to hang out for a coffee or something. Once you're done
yeah,
with your challenge and settled, found somewhere to
totally.
settle.
Yeah, once I find, I'll probably be like, yeah, worried about that until I find somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Probably the next day too, though. Once
Yeah,
I
yeah,
finish them down, maybe
for
I'll message
sure.
you for some like tips on which areas I should try, so I can
Okay.
talk to strangers. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'll hit you up.
cool. All right.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, Belle, for hopping on
No,
this.
it's been fun.
This one.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Definitely send me the link when it's up. I can also send you
Yep.
my bio if you need one.
Yeah, that'll be good because I'm gonna make
Pictures,
like an
headshot.
intro. Yeah, I'll make
Yeah.
like a little intro before the video, so it'd be good to have like a short, kind of a quick bio about you
Okay.
to add before
Do
that.
you already have that YouTube channel going? I have to check it
Yep.
out.
Yep. Mostly I've been
Okay.
doing like street interviews and stuff. The
Okay.
official podcast, like even though I've recorded like I think 7 episodes now, still
Yeah.
figuring out the kinks of like editing everything. You know, I have like
Are
an
you
editor,
doing
but
everything yourself?
no. I have like editors I'm working with. But I was working with someone, then I stopped working with him, so now I'm working with someone
Yeah.
else. So
Do you
just
get
kind
all
of
your
figuring out.
edits done by other people?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a big job. Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I probably wouldn't be doing this at all if I had to edit everything. I hate editing.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. There's so many like Philippines that's usually where I hire most people.
Mm,
There's good
mhm.
talent and cheap.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, I'll let you
Awesome.
know when it's posted and then we'll break it up into smaller clips. Bunch of cool AI tools now too. I've been exploring some. You know, one of them you can get a full podcast and then it will automatically break it up into like 10 of the best clips.
What's it
Um,
called? I might have heard of it.
This one is Get Munch.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them coming out.
Is it
It's
good though? Like, is it accurate the way they pick out the best clips?
yeah, I didn't try this one yet. I have it on my to-do list to
Let me
try.
see.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's amazing because like I'm using ChatGPT and for a lot of different things for my business now, and it's like incredible. So
Um,
I think there's a lot of amazing stuff coming out for people like us that are building an online business, making content. Like
yeah.
it's a,
Do you
it's a good
still
time.
do content with your
So this is
e-commerce?
so I mean I have like a social media manager. You know, she makes like memes and stuff. But all my sales come from ads. So most of my content now is actually making video ads. So that's my main focus right now. It's like
To your
I have editor
e-commerce?
for my e-commerce store.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's
And
all
the
Facebook,
video,
Instagram ads.
are
Yeah.
they video that is AI generated or do you film them?
Yeah, so we give the product to like content creators. Yeah, so they're real.
Um,
But we are actually exploring
UGC stuff.
using all UGC pretty much. And then we like then with the editor will like, you know, we'll like take bits from this content, this creator and mix and match it. But I do know a lot of people with e-commerce stores, they're using things like Midjourney to come up with like images and stuff.
I know, yeah.
And
Even an
they're
avatar
yeah,
to do
like
everything.
all sort of stuff to make ads, and currently it's doing really good.
Who's
Um,
running that? Because I may need some help with ads. Who is running your like ads? Do you do it
Oh, I
yourself?
do. Yeah, I used to work at a marketing agency, so I used to run ads. That
Okay.
was my job. So that's kind of my core skill. Yeah,
Oh,
definitely let
really?
me know. I'm
I don't even
happy
know where to
to.
start.
Yeah.
I hate the Facebook Meta ads platform because it's so confusing that I like
Yeah, you
it
gotta just get used to
overwhelms
like the
me.
platform. It's also very buggy at times.
Yeah.
I'll say the first part to start before the ads is really the offer. You know, like what are you actually offering? Like trying to package that. You because like 9 times out of 10, it's never the ad that's bad, it's the actual offer. So you can make like the best ads with the best like video editing, content
But how do
creation,
you know if the
whatever.
offer is good or you're just not targeting the right audience? I'm talking, yeah, like I'm talking with regards to like my SEO course.
I mean, you just have to test it. So you will have to spend a bit of money testing the ad. And as far as audience testing, I mean, typically, I mean, now that I have like my pixel is a little more better, but even still, I run a lot of ads with just general targeting, and that does really, really well, where you just kind of let Facebook decide on who to target.
Is there like an advice, like a rough budget that you would recommend for someone just starting out with a completely fresh, like Facebook doesn't know
Yeah.
anything?
So it depends how much does your course cost?
I would say between 2 to 500, depending on the early bird or not or normal price.
Gotcha. So I would highly, highly recommend not just bringing people straight to the course. You know, what
Yeah.
most people do, and most people that scale really well, is they do some type of lead magnet.
Yeah, so I do have
Because
a free masterclass, and then they
okay,
get like they get 2 days, 48 hours to watch it, and then they get 7 days to purchase the early bird price, and then it's the normal regular price.
got you. So yeah, so you would drive people to that, to
Mhm.
whatever the free thing is, because that you're going to get, you know, leads and people interested at a
Yeah.
much cheaper cost. And
Yeah.
then it's really up to your follow-up. So you need to make a really good email sequence, or
I do have that as
maybe
well.
send a message. Yeah, so it's really optimizing that. So there's a lot of like different parts of the whole funnel that you can optimize.
Yeah.
One other thing I've seen people do really successful is instead of making a free offer, you make some type of like, you know, $7 maybe like this SEO guide, or like something, you know, that maybe is like maybe 5 pages of just really good value. That
Yeah.
way you can if you can break even from making on the first ad, then you have like, you can scale
Yeah.
to an incredible level, because then it's all profit when you convert people. So if you can think of some like small offer that is maybe like $7 to $10,
Yeah.
you know, a really good offer that maybe includes like this thing, plus maybe even like a 1 hour coaching call or something as like a bonus. One book I highly, highly recommend is I don't know if you heard of Alex Hermosi, but he's got a book called $100 Million Offers. He makes a ton of content now. You can check him out on Instagram or YouTube now. He's just like a sales and marketing like genius. And he's got a really good book, 100 Million Offers, that is, it breaks down the offer like so well, like the different parts of it, and how to craft like a really good, like an irresistible offer. Yeah, because almost all the time it is like there's so many things you can do with the offer. Like instead of saying it's this, it can be the same offer, but you package it in different ways. Like maybe you have like a course, but then there's like all these bonuses, like 5 bonuses that would have been a part of the course, but now you make it separate and you call it bonuses, so people feel like they're getting all this exclusive value. Or maybe like you offer as a bonus like an hour coaching call or something, and there's only 10 of these available, so there is like some real scarcity while people have to they have to do it. So there's all these different ways how you can package the same offer, but in ways that are just much more appealing.
Is that something that you're interested in? Like, does it excite you?
I do like the marketing side.
Sales,
Yeah.
copywriting type of thing.
Maybe not copywriting, yeah, a bit, but I would say just the marketing side overall. Like funnel building, I definitely am interested in. Like, I don't care at all about my e-commerce products, like the physical products. I don't care about,
it's the
but
marketing.
the marketing is cool because it's all like psychology, and that part, I definitely am interested in.
Yeah, the problem with me is like, because I don't have that audience organically, that's why I want to dabble into paid audience right now. But then I don't have any, I don't know where to get started. And I definitely need, like, I wouldn't mind outsourcing this or like hiring someone to do it. So I don't know if you'd be interested in like taking on a new project, or
I don't like actually take on any clients just because it's because when I have the e-commerce store, which is doing good, and then I also have my side fashion business, which is this. But I'm always happy to hop on calls, like for strategy calls and stuff. I just don't want to take on clients because then I have like that responsibility that I need to like,
I get what you
execute
mean.
and stuff. But I'm always happy to just like hop on calls.
Yeah.
Like for strategy. But I think the first, thing for you would be coming up with that lead magnet offer. If it's something
I really
free.
have that though. Like I spend quite a bit of money to like revamp it. So I think it is attractive. I just need the audience to test it. So now my problem is running the ads. Because
Well, the
I've
good
also
thing
like
is
I've also
if
been
it's free,
yeah.
like if it's free, you should be able to, it wouldn't cost you that much to get some results. Like if it's a free
Mm,
offer, it would probably only cost a few dollars to get your first lead.
yeah.
Um, so then it's much way easier than trying to get someone to buy like a $500 course right away.
Mm. Yeah, like I've been pushing out content on Instagram and YouTube, but traction's been slow. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, do I
organic
still push
is tough.
on or do I like, abort this project and find something else to do? But I haven't tested
Yeah,
paid audiences yet. So
I think it's great if you have both. And if you have the organic, most people do it the other way, like just paid ads, and
mm,
it works way better if you're also making organic. Because Facebook will actually give you cheaper inventory if they see you're also making organic and getting making good content too.
okay.
So yeah, I would definitely just test it. I mean, even with like $20, you can definitely, especially
Yeah.
since it's a free offer, you
Yeah.
definitely can get enough results to really decide on whether you should keep running it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe even like in the beginning, you can do a little more of just like getting their phone number and even like calling them to like and
Mm,
find out like, then you can also learn more about who your exact kind of customer is.
yeah.
That's another thing to think about is like try to think of who is your ideal customer that needs your program the most. So then you can come up with the messaging for them,
Mm,
and then testing just at a very small budget. Um, but yeah, if you do start to run ads, definitely let me know. I can help you. Like, there's like a few settings tweaks to make that will like kind of make or break the ads too. Some people
okay.
just fuck up on this like one part of the settings that
Yeah.
make the ads suck.
Okay. Okay.
But
I'll
yeah,
definitely keep it in mind.
you can totally test it with just like $20.
Okay. Cool. Just feels overwhelming. And like there's so many bugs in my Meta suite that I don't even know where to start.
So many what? Bugs?
Bugs. Like they have
Oh, bugs.
banned me from stuff and
Hmm.
because I think I got somebody hacked into my account and ran like Vietnamese ads. And
Yeah,
so
I've heard that happening.
they blocked me from running ads and I don't know how to deal with that because I don't understand anything that they say.
Yeah. Is the account still banned?
Um,
That account?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. Well, that would be the first step that is getting it
Yeah,
unbanned. That would be. You could
yeah.
try TikTok ads. I mean, I haven't
Ooh,
really tried it, but I know some people are crushing it with
TikTok ads.
TikTok ads. Yeah. And you'll probably get a decent audience. Like I think a lot of millennials or like Gen Z, they're all about trying to find some way of making money online.
Have you run TikTok? Are you on TikTok then?
Tiny bit. I wasn't the past few months. It's because I was in India and it
Yeah.
was like
And is it
banned in
banned?
India. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have like a whole bank of content that we were going to post on TikTok soon.
And that's all you're talking, like all your challenge videos, right?
Yep. And then even things like this, I'll break it up into short form
Wow,
content.
that's amazing. Yeah, I can definitely see the potential in this because it's very engaging, entertaining. You've got, well, I feel, yeah, you've definitely changed quite a bit from like the last time I spoke to you in Medellin. So you've got like that energy and that personality emanating out of your videos. So I think, yeah, you'll definitely
Thanks.
it's going to blow up sooner or later.
Yeah. I mean, now that we're going to be consistent with it.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I think so. And I've got like
Awesome.
different forms of content. It's like the social experiment, which is like more fun, entertaining, 3 interviews, and then me teaching, and then the podcast. My main goal is to get people like eventually to the podcast because that's where more of the deep conversations happen.
Yeah. And what do you teach? Or is this something that you plan to monetize in the future?
Yeah, I mean the main thing is helping people with social anxiety to be more confident.
Mm, okay.
Yeah.
As a coach.
As a coach, yeah. So I'll do
Cool.
like different programs like one-on-one coaching, but then eventually like group programs, online courses, masterminds,
Nice.
that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, that's very exciting. A lot of different offers and potential.
Totally. Yeah. And the first offer I'll need is some good lead magnets, which I
Yeah.
have a few different ideas what I could try. But if you can figure out that lead magnet like that, or they call it a tripwire, that first offer, if you can just break even on that, like then you're golden.
What do you mean by break even? Because if it's a Oh, yeah. Okay. So
So
you're
if it's like a
selling that trip
$7,
area. Okay. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if it's like a $7 program and it costs you $7
Yeah,
on
I've
for
heard about
ads,
that.
then you have
Mm.
like that person now is a customer. So you just pretty much got a customer for free that has taken your course, and now you have all these
I
different
feel
offers
like,
you can give them.
yeah, but like, what are the success rates of that? Because sure, you can trick them, like clickbait them into getting a cheap offer, but then if it's gonna be a cheap offer, it's not gonna provide as much of a value as like the full offer or the higher ticket offer. So then how are
Well,
you going
well, then
to
no, it has to
sell it
be.
to them?
You should make a really incredibly valuable, like for $7, you should give them like way more than $7 worth of value. Like you need to blow them away with the amount of value.
Yeah.
I mean, you can provide like maybe like even a 1 hour coaching call. That in itself is obviously going to be worth like more than $7, right? You can give some amazing, like turn it
Yeah.
into maybe this little ebook or something, or like a mini course.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of things so much value you can give,
Cool.
for someone. And
Yeah.
then now that you blow them away with $7 worth of value, when you offer them like the $500 course, they're gonna also imagine that there's
Mm.
gonna be insane amount of value.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Cool.
I think a good thing for you to think about too is it sounds like your niche is really people looking to make money online.
Yeah, it's not so much the
Yeah.
SEO stuff,
Like SEO is
which is
one way to do
maybe,
that,
yeah.
but you can always if you can get a customer at like break even with some course, there's like so many different offers you could eventually make that will fit this person's looking to make money online.
Okay, so like branch out from the whole topic, like the big topic of making money online, instead of narrowing it to
Is
just
like
one way.
is an option, because especially
Yeah.
if you give them the $7 offer, maybe for whatever reason they don't take up your SEO course offer. It'd be
Mhm.
good to have some other offers that they might
Yeah.
be into, knowing that they're
Cross-selling.
looking to make money online. Yeah, like kind
Mm.
of down sells or different
Yeah.
upsells, or just maybe coaching. Maybe you want to do some like other one-on-one coaching that can help them
Yeah.
figure out what's right for them.
Brainstorm
Um,
different products. Okay.
yeah. And then
Cool.
also, there's a really good guy, Russell Brunson. He's like a
Yeah, I heard about him.
marketing god. He's all about this, all about funnels, and yeah, he always says to make some like front end offer that is just like an
Mm.
irresistible offer. Like you can give it for free, or you can charge people. Some people
Yeah.
do like a free book, but you have to pay like $10 for shipping or something, or like
Yeah,
$5
yeah,
as like a processing, whatever that
yeah.
means. But then at least
Yeah.
they can break even. And then like he says like it's like a value ladder. Then the next step
Uh-huh.
is you give them some maybe like a $200 program, and then after that you give them like a $1,000 one-on-one coaching, and then maybe after that you have like some retreat or something. Like there's like
Yeah.
infinite like added levels you can give people, where the highest one would be like the most premium kind of expensive option,
Yeah.
that you can bring them
Yeah,
through.
it's such a big, like there's so many possibilities. And I feel like one person, it's just not, yeah, it's too much for one person to do as well. Like it's like a
Yeah,
whole
it takes time.
business to it.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
But yeah,
energy.
I'd say just focus on the first offer, because you already
Mhm.
have a program. So if you could think of just like an irresistible offer that like someone that is looking to make money online would just like get so much value from, and kind of like feel like they'll be stupid not to take this, cheap,
Yeah.
whether it's a free offer or a $7 offer. That's
Yeah, I
amazing.
don't play around with it. I'll get overwhelmed with it.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, thanks for your time too. Great to
totally.
see
Yeah.
you.
Let me know if you have any other questions. Feel free to DM me.
Thank
WhatsApp me.
you. All right, have a good rest of the
Well,
day.
yeah. Thanks, well. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys so much for sticking with us till the end of this episode. If you liked the episode, please leave a review on whatever platform you're listening to. It makes a huge, huge help for us. So please do that. We have some amazing people already lined up for the next several podcasts. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.